Yeah, it's that time of the year. So Halloween is actually fun. A lot of times I think that in the world of product decoration, people looked at it like an oddity of, well, whatever. But the reality is there's a lot of fun involved and there's a lot of different opportunities. So I'm just going to chat about a few things today and show you a couple of things that I put together with some designs and maybe even take a look at some of the creative studio designs we have for Halloween because we have a ton of them. Let me tell you, a ton of them. All right. Okay, so let's get rolling through here. Um, so lots of clients. That's always my starting point. What's the marketplace look like? So every year, over 170 million Americans participate in this unique event. So you do have a few clients out there, and they come people of all ages, and there's just all kinds of things. And usually Halloween's fun. I mean, every now and then you run into things that aren't quite as fun, right? But most of it's pretty good fun. I always enjoyed that as a kid. Of what are you going to be for Halloween? The dressing up and that kind of stuff. So 170 million people. Okay, last year Americans spent 8.4 billion overall on Halloween. Okay, that's everything. Okay, that's never the sublimation number. That's everything. That comes out to an average per person of $82.93. And again, remember it's decorations, candy, costumes, and somewhere in there sublimation. Most interesting number, 370 million on Halloween costumes for their pets. So that's just crazy, isn't it? You see right there on the screen, everything in that picture there has been sublimated. So it's all sublimation. And some people, they really, really trick out their houses, and everything in there is Halloween oriented, and other people kind of ignore it. But whatever, you want to find the first category, that's for sure, the ones who trick out the houses. So we got a couple of different directions we'll talk about today. For profits, we're going to talk about outdoor decorations. We're going to talk about indoor decorations, themed apparel, pet products, and photo products. And pretty much every design that you see today came from our Creative Studio system. So everything that you see here, if you're a Creative Studio user, you should be able to find on your own system. But as I said, we got a lot more than just what you're going to see here. So let's start with outdoor decorations. Things have gotten crazy. I mean, yeah, my kids have all grown, graduated from college now, but kind of in our heyday, I had smoked machines out there. I had projections and there's just a lot of really cool stuff. But from the sublimation point of view, you start looking at things like Halloween flags, okay? Just simple flags, the garden flags, that you can put Halloween themes on there. Um, Slate is an interesting thing to decorate because we can use that outside. And when you look at slate, outside, it has sort of that tombstone look, if you know what I mean. If you're going to do outdoor panels, the Duralux panels, they have a really good rating for outdoor use. So we tend to think of Halloween at night. Your decorations are out there 24 hours a day for as long as you keep them out there. Car flags, doormats. Doormats are super popular right now. So there's a lot of cool things that you can produce that you can sell to your customers that have that Halloween theme to them. So outdoor decorations is just one of those categories. Now, on the indoor decorations, this probably has even more products because people do some pretty interesting things along the indoors. So again, there are some different flag products. Bottom center, I have more slate again, okay? And I really like the slate products. They're pretty cool. Above it is like an ornament. And a lot of times you say ornaments, everybody thinks, oh, Christmas tree ornament. Who's got a Christmas tree at Halloween? That's not really the purpose. I mean, I've seen people actually make Halloween trees where they got different ornaments that have Halloween themes on them. Or you can just hang those, from different places within the house. What the heck, you could probably use that as a tag for your dog, especially because, a lot of people buy the Halloween costumes for the dog and they take the dog trick or treating. Well, you know what? You can put that along with a regular name tag on there. You see the door hanger. There's just all kinds of things. A lot of people have Halloween parties And so for your parties, you can start doing your coasters, your drinkware, serving trays, cheese trays. It's just all kinds of things that we can do with it. Table runners, linens. I mean, just a lot of neat things we can do. So thinking about those and just kind of putting together the ideas and kind of putting them into packages can go a long way. Now, of course, you got to figure out how to reach people, because these are, pretty much end user oriented, consumer retail type of thing. But provided you can reach in and tap into that market, we put a lot of cool things in front of them. You start putting some of these things out in social media, you're definitely gonna get some attention. Now let's not forget about themed apparel. I mean, certainly people, make Halloween costumes, buy Halloween costumes, but those are usually just for Halloween night. I mean, for some people, the whole month of October is like Halloween celebration. So you start thinking about like Halloween socks and t-shirts and sweats. Now, what is that weird looking thing over there on the far right hand side? That is a compression sleeve. Now, that particular image is not in Creative Studio, okay? I had to get that online. But the idea was just a simple little costume, because, a lot of times parents, they wear the witch's hat or just something real simple if they're going with the kids, right? And then you have the ones that they're too macho to wear a costume, but they'll do a little bit, right? So you get the compression sleeve and you put something like that with the stitches and the nasty gash on there. Hey, you wear that with a short sleeve shirt, and they're like, "What the heck is going on there?" So I mean, that's what I say. There's some interesting ways to go. Uh, so just be creative, okay? Go in and look at the Coastal product line, because they got a fantastic product line, and then start looking at products from the perspective of, hey, could I decorate that, make it into something themed for Halloween, and then, go out and sell it. Now, remember, if you're using Creative Studio, you can use a product mock-up maker with a whole lot of those different products. So, like the t-shirt there was done with product mock-up maker, so was a sock. And you can put together these images so that you can easily put them online. So if you have a website, you can again send them out in social media. You can start posting them places where your customers can see them. You can even make flyers if you want to go that direction. So Product Mockup Maker works with a lot of the different products. Sadly, it won't work with round products like coffee mugs and water bottles, because it just doesn't have the capability. But for so many other things, works really well. Some things look very realistic, some of them are so-so, but there's a lot of good use in Product Mockup Maker. So take the opportunity to play with it if you haven't done that yet. That can help you out putting together, images of what you can do. Different photo products. A lot of times this is another one where, everybody's got a phone, right? I mean, you just look at all the photographs that are taken, and they all pop up instantly on Instagram, Facebook, everywhere else. But a lot of those photos people want to preserve not electronically, but actually printed onto something. So being able to put pictures like you see on the right on photo panels of the kids all dressed up and whatnot, or maybe it's a photo frame as you see on the left, and the photo frame is where you put the photograph in, just a regular printed out photograph rather than sublimated. Totally up to you. So photo products, because it's an event and people do like to capture events and preserve it and look back on it. So keep that part in mind too, of all the things you can do with the photos that you're taking during the event. And then of course the pet products, as I told you, that's a big chunk of change that people are spending on pet products. And you're saying, well, that's a people t-shirt. Well, you know what? You can use people t-shirts for doggy t-shirts. You just need to experiment a little bit, try a couple of different sizes and whatnot, because it's hard to find dog t-shirts that are sublimatable. Okay. But of course, now with some of the products where we can sublimate on cotton, you may be able to actually find some more of those. But you know what? For just regular everyday sublimation, if you get poly tees, you can find out what fits the dog, and then you can sublimate. Notice here I put it on the back because that would be on the dog's back, and that does work. Okay, I have a picture on my personal laptop when I was dog sledding in Alaska of me with the dogs and at the front of the sled, and several of them were wearing t-shirts. They happened to be Gildan t-shirts. I looked in the label. I was just curious, and they were actually wearing t-shirts. And for them, it wasn't really warmth. It was more to make sure that the harnesses weren't chafing them. But that was kind of cool. Over on the right-hand side, we see a doggy bandana. So this is where I have a dog that she's a she's a golden doodle, but unlike most golden doodles, she doesn't look like one. She actually looks like she's 90% golden and 10% doodle. So she looks very close to your standard golden retriever. But she doesn't put up with us, putting, funny hats on her head and stuff like that. So she'll wear a bandana. She'd wear a bandana. She's not going to wear a whole lot else in the way of a Halloween costume. So sublimating the bandana, simple piece of costume for the dog. Maybe even the cat. Cats can be, they can have an attitude. So that's something to think about. There's dog collars and dog leashes. And this is, if you do a lot of things with pets, people tend to buy a dog collar and it's the collar, right? But start showing your customers how you can do themed collars for different events or different times of the year. So you pull out maybe in October their Halloween collar and they wear it all during October. Maybe they have a Thanksgiving collar. I don't know. Maybe they have a Christmas collar, and and the list goes on. So you can do a lot with the pet items of giving them themed products. And so definitely keep that in mind. And you could actually do very well just with pet products by themselves. Um, and go way beyond this. Okay, I mean, you have the pet food bowls, which can be sublimated. You have pillows that pets lie on, which can be sublimated with a theme. You have floor mats that also can be pet mats. So there's a lot of different things we can do with that themed type of product line for the pets. So let's touch a little bit on marketing. Who are some of your potential customers? End users, obviously. And if you are working with a lot of end users, you want to really get the word out and the messaging out to them. So you want to do everything you can to promote these ideas. Start putting it in front of them, and ideally already. Okay, I didn't say now, I said already. Okay, because you only have about 29 more days. Well, let's see. Yesterday was the first, so yeah, you got, I guess, 30 days, including today. But if you also tend to sell more towards the resale marketplace, so you're selling wholesale for things that can be resold. I mean, never now would probably be late for that. It might be you thinking about next year because retail stores tend to buy way in advance, but start thinking about and you know what, if nothing else, collect information this year for next year. Go into some of these types of stores, see what they're carrying, get an idea of what they have and what they don't have. Okay, that's one of the key things of what they don't have. You probably won't do great with the big box chain stores, but more with the locally owned establishments. Okay, but home decor and accessory stores, I mean, those are the kind of places where you would be able to do some of the indoor outdoor decorations. Gift stores, personalized products, photo products, you can sell there. You can probably do some decorations there as well, maybe even some of the apparel. Same thing with department stores. A lot of department stores will have a seasonal area where they're carrying things like, the decor, the outdoor products. Clothing stores, obviously, apparel. Hardware stores, all of our hardware stores locally, they have like decorations, okay, mostly outdoor decorations. Pet stores goes without saying. And then have you ever noticed that there's a lot of specialty Halloween stores? We have some that pop up and they're only open for like 3 months out of the year. And then they're gone. And then they're back the next year. And so they may be in a different location, but that's what they're full of. So trying to find, the people that run them and work through that. As well, anything that you can do online, to kind of get the word out there, is going to be just another place that you can sell. Product samples, if you're going to talk to real people, show real samples. Okay, but you can certainly use the product mock-up maker that I mentioned to be able to put together ideas and put them online, okay, or put them in print. And in addition to having samples that you can show your customers, you might create a whole bunch of virtual samples too. So you walk in with a limited number of ready-made samples to show them, but then you have virtual samples that you can show them for other ideas. So it's like kind of making your own catalog. As I said, the artwork for this presentation came from Creative Studio, and the product images were created with Creative Studio's product mockup maker. Now I'm going to go into Creative Studio here in just a second. I'll show you where product mockup maker is in case you don't know. And also I want to give you an idea of all the different kind of designs. So bear with me 1 minute here while I change screens. And I will move into Sawgrass's Creative Studio. So now I should be showing the screen again. And to give you an idea, what all I did was just set up a what we call a blank canvas. And actually, let me go into that because one of the things I want to talk to you about real quick is understanding the different types of designs. Okay, if you're looking at Creative Studio, this is your working screen here. You see designs, you see images, and there's a difference between the two. When you talk about designs, designs have what we typically call print-ready designs, which are usually multiple elements that are combined together to create a design. Okay, those elements themselves, the individual elements, can be resized, recolored, removed, relayered, things of that nature. So you have a lot of flexibility of being able to edit that design. If you look at designs that come under our images, image files tend to be, they're bitmap files, and they tend to be what we call flattened. So with a flattened file, you cannot change individual components of the design. You can only resize it, move it, that type of thing. So I'll show you the difference. But in each one, we do have Halloween products, okay, Halloween items. So let's go in and look in designs real quick, just to give you an idea how many are in there. And what I'm just going to do is just search on Halloween. So I'm just going to put that in right here, and it's going to show us everything that comes up under that keyword. Now, you've probably heard that we have started a subscription program for that you can join totally on your own, okay, whether you choose to do it or not. And in it, we have premium designs. Now, these particular premium designs, you pay $19.95 a month, except that, you know, we always have specials if you go look. If you were to go look right now on our website on the Creative Studio tab, which you'll find on the website, going to Creative Studio, you can see that there's discount codes and everything else if you choose to do this, okay? So when you're working in Sawgrass's Creative Studio, um, you will see the ones listed as premium, and they're part of that package. If you are a member of the subscription program, then you can access these. You don't have a little lock on them. If you're not, you can see them, but you can't access them. But you'll see there's plenty of them that are not part of the premium program. In fact, there goes one of the ones that I used earlier in my presentation. I used that one. I use that one. So what's happening is the non-premium designs, those are the standard ones that come with your Creative Studio when you get Creative Studio. The premium allows you to grow that to a larger scale, and that's why we put together the premium program. There's a lot of people who are asking for that, interested in that. So if I'm just scrolling through, you can see there's a lot of designs. Some are premium, some are not, but there's a lot under the particular category of designs, okay? So that just means that when I have these designs, for example, let's just choose one. We'll use, I don't know, we'll use this one right here. When it comes in, you'll see that I can grab different components and I can move them around, and I can recolor them, I can resize them, reshape them, delete them, things like that I can do, okay? And then when I'm ready to print, I can go print. This has got a lot of flexibility. It came under the design category. So let's look under images and let's see what's the difference in images. One of the things to keep in mind before I go into images is if I go choose another design, it will actually push this one out and replace it. So you cannot have more than two designs on the screen at the same time, because as soon as I choose a different design, it'll tell me that it's going to delete this one. So if we went back in real quick to Halloween and said, oh, I've changed my mind. I want to go with a different design. I want to use this one instead. You see it says this action will result in loss of work. Do you wish to continue? Okay. So what it's going to do is completely replace that one. So when we're working with things that fall under designs, we can only have one of those on the screen at a time. Okay. Now images are what I call flattened artwork. And in images, you don't have nearly as much flexibility. It's just a single object or a single element. So let's look up Halloween and see what's under Halloween under our images category. And there, you can see, first of all, it's more simplistic. Okay, so I want to add in this bat. it'll actually let me bring that in, okay, because it sees it as something that's just going to be dropped in. All right. So it lets me pull that in because it's what's called an image. And the thing about the image is on this particular one, it will let me change the colors. A lot of times it will not, but I can't go to like the eyes and move the eyes. Okay, so over here you see I can move some of the different pieces, but in here I cannot select anything except the total design. So I hope that you understand what I'm talking about here. I can put these in and overlap them and everything else, but anything that comes out of images is you're pretty restricted to just being able to resize it, move it, rotate it, and in some cases actually recolor it, which we can see here. But either way, going back into images real quick, we do have a large number of items there, and we can certainly use those to help us build our own unique looking Halloween products. So looking and searching down here, we have a lot of those in there. And you see some are premium, a whole lot of them are not. And backgrounds, you can use these for backgrounds too, some pretty cool stuff. And of course you can upload your own stuff too. All right, so let me real quick go in and show you Product Mockup Maker so that you know where it is and how to use it, just in case you didn't. And some of you may know it very well, but I find a lot of times, not everybody does. So I'm going to clear everything that's on this screen, and I'm actually going to go to products because let's make a product since we're doing Product Mockup Maker. That makes sense, doesn't it? So let's go and maybe we're going to do um, there's so much to do, but maybe we're going to do clothing. We want to make some t-shirts. So I'll go to t-shirt, I'll get the basic short sleeve, and we're going to put it, we'll say put it on the front. So it comes in, I got a pretty big work area there. And now I'm going to go into designs, and I'm going to go do a search on Halloween again. And you can see how fast we can move through this too, if we kind of know where we're going and what we're doing. And under here, this time I want to use, what the heck, I'm going to use this guy right here. So it's going to bring in, fits it to the shirt. If, remember it's made up of different pieces. So you start grabbing something, that doesn't mean you grab the whole design, okay? Because if I move this, what moves? You know what? It's just that part there. So let me put that right back where it was. Suppose I wanted to resize the whole thing. I will go to select all, it selects all the different elements, and I'm just going to reduce it down just a little bit, reposition it, and then once I say, okay, I'm good with that. Product Mockup Maker, pay real close attention, zoom, look at the down arrow, click on the down arrow, and we're going to zoom to the design area, okay? But we can also, let me move this down here. Let's go back to the product. Now this time, we're going to use Product Mockup Maker. So yes, it's a zoom key, but it's where Product Mockup Maker is. And you see that looks pretty close to a real t-shirt, okay? Works out pretty well. And we're just going to download it. We're going to download it, save it as a PNG, and then we can use that PNG file for pretty much anything that we want. So it's that easy to use Product Mockup Maker so that you can build your samples, both real samples and your virtual samples. That is a great tool. Comes with your system. So make use of it. All right. Well, that covers what I wanted to cover today. I mean, Halloween, great opportunities there. Hopefully, just a few ideas that you can use. Thanks for spending a little bit of time with me, and I look forward to seeing you guys again next month.